Senate will come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Senators Baisley, Bridges, Buckner, Coleman, Cutter, Danielson,
Excused.
Exum,
Excused.
Fields, Gardner, Janal, Gonzalez, Hanson, Henriksen,
Excused.
Hawkes Lewis,
Excused.
Kirkmeyer, Kolker,
Excused.
Liston, Lundin, Marchman, Moreno, Pelton B, Pelton R, Priola, Mullica,
Excused.
Priola, Rich, Roberts, Rodriguez, Simpson, Smallwood, Sullivan, Van Winkle, Will, Winter, Zenzinger,
Excused.
Mr. President.
Here. Morning roll call is 28 present, 0 absent, 7 excused. We do have a quorum. Members, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag Will the clerk please add Senator Hawkes Lewis, Kolker, and Danielson to the roll? Approval of the Journal, Senator Hawkes Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate Journal of Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. That motion is adopted. Senate Services.
March 24, 2023, correctly engrossed Senate Bills 39, 53, 67, 69, 72, 149, and 151. Correctly revised House Bills 1117, 1126, 1151, and 1157. Correctly enrolled Senate Bill 52 and 110.
Committee reports.
March 23, 2023, the Committee on State, Veterans, and Military Affairs, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1185 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. Senate Joint Memorial 4 be postponed indefinitely. March 23, 2023, the Committee on Agriculture and Natural Resources, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1094 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. Senate Bill 191 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. Senate Bill 185 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation, with a recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. Senate Bill 177 be amended as follows: and as so amended, be referred to the Committee on Appropriation with favorable recommendation.
Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Will the clerk please read the titles to all of the bills on the consent calendar?
House Bill 1157, Representatives Joseph and Weinberg, Senators Exum and Gardner, concerning the Uniform Unregulated Child Custody Transfer Act. House Bill 1151, Representatives Woodrow and Bachenfeld, Senators Rodriguez and Gardner, concerning clarifications to the requirements that the court conduct a bond hearing within 48 hours after an individual is placed in jail.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of all the bills on the third reading consent calendar, which includes House Bills 1157 and 1151.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills? Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate the opportunity. I want to call everyone's attention to House Bill 1151 concerning clarifications to the requirements that the court conduct a bond hearing within 48 hours after an individual is placed in jail. This bill is on consent in this chamber. There were several votes against this bill in the House chamber, and so I've had several people ask me about it. This bill is not about setting low bond. This bill is not about placing people on personal recognizance. This bill is about when one is arrested, what happens to them. Constitutionally, you are entitled, and this is by constitutional right, like the right to free speech and the right to bear arms and the right to be secure in your papers and personal effects. You have a right when law enforcement snatches you off the street and takes you to the county jail to be brought in front of a magistrate within a reasonable time. And over the years, a reasonable time by court decision has focused around a couple of days, 48 hours. Now, 2 years ago, we passed a bill that said you must be brought in state court, you must be brought in front of a magistrate within 48 hours if you're being held. Now, at that point, a judge may say, this is pretty serious and the evidence is pretty strong and you're not from here, you're from another country, your bond is $1 million. Or the judge may say, this is not the most serious case that ever was, and it's not a violent offense, but it is an offense that needs to be heard, and you have a job here in the community, and you seem to be a solid citizen and not someone who's going to be a danger to the community nor leave. We're going to release you on personal recognizance. This bill does not tell anyone what the magistrate/judge should do. We passed that bill in 2019 with the expectation that people would be brought in front of a magistrate within 48 hours. What we found was that there was some misunderstanding over across the street and in the 22 judicial districts about what that meant. I don't know why 48 hours doesn't mean 48 hours. The worst case was that a person would say be on a Pueblo warrant, would be arrested in Teller County, and they'd sit in the Teller County jail on a misdemeanor, mind you, for 2 or 3 weeks before anybody got around to taking them down to Pueblo so that they could appear in front of a magistrate while they languished in the Teller County jail. Whereupon, when they got to Pueblo County, the judge goes, well, this is probably a probation offense. We'll be settling it later. We'll release you on personal recognizance. Meanwhile, the person's lost their job, been in jail for 2 weeks. So this bill is to make it clear. And we've provided the resources. There are magistrates that will do this by WebEx and do it. So when you vote yes or vote no, but when you vote for this, you're not voting for the release of people. You're voting for their constitutional right to see a judge when they're snatched off the street. They may be snatched off the street for a very, very good reason. And as I've said to my friends on the other side of the aisle, you and I agree on one thing. People should see a magistrate. I might take the position that that magistrate set the bond at a very high level, and you might take the position that it should not be. But people are entitled, have a constitutional right to see a judge. It is fundamental. Because most of the people who, let's face it, most of the people who are arrested for very, very good reasons. Sometimes not. Once in a while, not. And you might be one of those people once in a while. So you'd want to see a magistrate. Wouldn't want to spend a week in a country jail. I ask for an aye vote. Thank you, Mr. President.
Motion, will the clerk please add Senator Malika to the roll? The motion is the passage of all of the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes on any of the bills? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, House Bill 1157 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Priola. With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, House Bill 1151 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Priola, Bridges, third reading of bills, final passage. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 39?
Senate Bill 39, Senator Buckner, Representative Amabile, concerning measures to reduce family separation caused by parents' detention and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Buckner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 39 on third reading and final passage. And on this beautiful Friday, I am asking permission for a third reading amendment.
That's bold, Senator Buckner. Senator Buckner, will you explain the need for such an action?
Yes, the need is, this is a technical clean-up amendment.
Terrific. The question before the body is Senator Buckner's request for permission to offer a third reading amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Whoa. Senator Bridges. We don't say no to Senator Buckner.
Yeah, that's right.
The ayes have it, permission is granted. There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read Amendment L22 to Senate Bill 39?
Amendment L022 by Senator Buckner, amending gross bill, page 6, line 4, strike a hearing if, page 6, strike lines 5 through 8, page 9, line 14, strike 1E4, page 11, line 12, strike A, page 20, line 7, strike trails and substitute trails.
Senator Buckner.
Thank you. I am asking for an aye vote on L022.
To the amendment.
This is strictly a technical cleanup, and we want this right before it goes over to the House.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of L22 to Senate Bill 39. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, the amendment is adopted. To the bill.
To the bill.
Senator Buckner.
This, I am just so pleased that we had everyone on board. No, everyone is neutral or in favor of this bill. So I move Senate Bill 39 on third reading and final passage.
Motion is the passage of Senate Bill 39. Are there any no votes? Senators Van Winkle, Pelton B., Will, Baisley, Rich, Gardner, Minority Leader Lundin, Smallwood, Pelton R. Kirkmeyer. With a vote of 22 ayes, 10 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 39 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Mullica, Hanson, Coleman, Gonzalez, Janal, Majority Leader Moreno, Fields, Marchman, Jaquez Lewis, Bridges, Sullivan, Priola, Cutter, Danielson, Winter. Please add the president. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 67?
Senate Bill 67, Senator Coleman, Representative Bacon, concerning a recidivism reduction program for persons sentenced due to the Department of Corrections, facilitated by program participants in partnership with Department of Corrections staff and in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 67 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 67. Are there any no votes? Senators Van Winkle, Baisley, Rich, Gardner, Minority Leader Lundin, Liston, Pelton R., Simpson, Will, Smallwood. With a vote of 22 ayes, 10 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 67 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Gonzalez, Janal, Hanson, Colker, Jaquez Lewis, Marchman, Bridges, Majority Leader Moreno, Priola, Fields, Buckner, Winter, Cutter, Sullivan. Please add the president. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 149?
Senate Bill 149, Senators Coleman and Exum, Representative Bacon, concerning the creation of a program to provide higher education financial assistance to students who perform youth mentorship and in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 149 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 149. Are there any no votes? Senators Van Winkle, Will, Baisley, Rich, Gardner, Minority Leader Lundin, Smallwood, Kirkmeyer, Liston, Pelton B., Pelton R., Simpson. With a vote of 20 ayes, 12 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 149 is passed. Co-sponsors, Majority Leader Moreno, Senators Marchman, Jaquez Lewis, Janal, Fields, Sullivan, Bridges, Priola, Cutter, Winter, Buckner, Gonzalez, Colker, Hanson. Please add the president. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 72? Oh, Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 72 lay over to the end of the calendar.
Motion is to lay over Senate Bill 72 to the end of the calendar. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no? The ayes have it. Senate Bill 72 will be laid over to the bottom of the calendar. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 151?
Senate Bill 151, Senator Fields, Representatives Judah and Ortiz, concerning the continuation of the Health Equity Commission and in connection therewith implementing the recommendation contained in the 2022 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies.
Senator Fields.
Good morning, Mr. President, colleagues. I move Senate Bill 151 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 151. Are there any no votes? Senators Van Winkle, Will, Baisley, Rich, Gardner, Minority Leader Lundin, Smallwood, Kirkmeyer, Liston, Pelton B, Pelton R, Simpson. With a vote of 20 ayes, 12 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 151 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Hansen, Janal, Priola, Gonzalez, Cutter, Winter, Merchman, Majority Leader Moreno, Bridges, Sullivan, Buckner. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 69 lay over until Monday, March 27th.
The motion is to lay over Senate Bill 69 until Monday, March 27th. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no? The ayes have it. Senate Bill 69 will be laid over until Monday, March 27th. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 53?
Senate Bill 53, Senators Kirkmeyer and Rodriguez, Representative Woodrow, concerning restrictions on non-disclosure agreements that affect government employees.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move passage of Senate Bill 53 on third and final reading.
The motion is the passage of Senate Bill 53. Are there any no votes? I can't be right. Something's wrong.
You're right, it's not Barbara Kirkmeyer Day again.
With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 53 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Van Winkle, Will, Baisley, Minority Leader Lundin, Smallwood, Gardner, Liston, Pelton B, Pelton R, Simpson, Hansen, Roberts, Malika, Kolker, Gonzalez, Janal, Marchman, Bridges, Priola, Winter, Buckner, Coleman. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1126 and 1117 lay over until Monday, March 27th.
Motion is to lay over House Bills 1126 and 1117 until Monday, March 27th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no? The ayes have it, and those bills will be laid over until Monday. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 72?
Senate Bill 72, Senator Rodriguez, Representatives Epps and Soper, concerning the continuation of the Defense Council on First Appearance Grant Program and in connection therewith implementing the recommendations in the 2022 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies and making an appropriation.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 72 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I voted against this bill in committee, and I'm going to be a no vote today, and I want to explain why. Several years ago, I think probably back to 2019, we were engaged by stakeholders on the issue of when someone has a right to counsel under the Sixth Amendment in municipal proceedings. And there was a lot of Supreme Court case law around that, some dispute about whether what level of offenses required counsel. The clearest sort of easy delineation is if you don't have a risk of going to jail, you're just going to pay a fine, then you don't have a right to appointed counsel if you're indigent. And you always have a right to counsel at your own expense, but this is about if you're indigent. A lot of municipal courts in this state do little more than routine traffic, and there aren't many cases there where someone has the risk of incarceration. But there are several jurisdictions, Denver, Colorado Springs, Lakewood, Aurora, in which handle somewhat more serious misdemeanors. And one, if one is indigent, they have a right to counsel appointed. I supported that bill. Almost inevitably, when that bill was up for consideration, municipal courts and their municipalities came to us and said, this is a financial burden to us, and we you know, it's coming out of nowhere. We need a grant. You know, sometimes the price of getting something done in this building is to say, fine, we'll give you some money. And that's what we did. Now, I said at the time, don't come back in a couple of years because we put a sunset on it to smooth it out. Don't come back in a couple of years and tell us that you need money to pay for counsel for the charges that you, the municipality, are bringing when you could turn them over to the state. I think a decision, and not a bad decision, is made by municipalities that choose to have an active municipal court program. But if you do, municipalities need to pay for it. But the sunset comes around, and here we are, and municipalities want to continue the state paying for their municipal court program, in essence. Never mind that they could collect court fees and things to pay for this. And the disturbing thing to me is the municipalities that are asking for the money. So there's about $400,000 to $500,000. It's not huge money, but $400,000 to $500,000 in a year that's given out in grants. You know who gets the most money? You know who gets about half of it? City and County of Denver. Now, there are a lot of small municipalities out there. They got $2,000 and so forth. And I wouldn't have been too bothered if we would have extended this program to municipalities of a very small size, because I think they have budgetary challenges. I don't think $200,000 for the City and County of Denver is something that they can't figure out how to pay for. And they have a lot of activity there in their municipal division of their court. So that's the reason I'm a no. We need to have budget priorities here. I think handing out money to municipalities, particularly one of our largest municipalities, to take care of a program that they choose to run, a good program, but and an important for public safety, but I don't think it's the role of the state to pay for that for them. I ask for a no vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 72. Are there any no votes? Senators Van Winkle, Will, Baisley, Rich, Gardner, Minority Leader Lundin, Smallwood, Kirkmeyer, Liston, Pelton B, Pelton R, Simpson. With a vote of 20 ayes, 12 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 72 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Gonzalez, Priola, Majority Leader Moreno. Cutter, and Winter. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar until Monday, March 27th.
Motion is to lay over the balance of the calendar until Monday, March 27th. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the balance of the calendar will be laid over until Monday, March 27th. Message from the governor.
Thursday, March 23rd, 2023, Colorado Senate. Honorable members of the Colorado Senate, pursuant to the authority vested in the office of the Governor of the State of Colorado, I have the honor to inform you that I have approved and filed with the Secretary of State the following acts. Senate Bill 15, Vehicle Value Protection Agreement, approved on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 9:35 a.m. Senate Bill 23, CPR Training in High Schools, approved on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. Senate Bill 46, Average Weekly Wage Paid Leave Benefits, approved on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 9:36 a.m. Senate Bill 48, Non-Tenure Track Faculty, approved on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. Senate Bill 51, Conforming Workforce Development Statutes, approved on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 9:35 a.m. Senate Bill 73, Sunset Epic Advisory Board, approved on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. Senate Bill 84, Full-Time Employment for Higher Education Faculty, approved on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 9:31 a.m. Senate Bill 95, Unlawfully Aiming Laser Device at Aircraft, approved on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 9:31 a.m. Senate Bill 100, Uniform Community Property Disposition at Death Act, approved on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 9:31 a.m. Sincerely, Jared Polis, Governor.
Committee reports.
March 23rd, 2023, the Committee on Local Government and Housing, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following Senate Bill 183 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation, and with a recommendation to be placed on the consent calendar. House Bill 1099 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. March 23rd, 2023, the Committee on Finance, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following Senate Bill 196 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. Senate Bill 175 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. March 23rd, 2023, the Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following Senate Bill 179 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1195 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation, with a recommendation it be placed on the consent calendar. Senate Bill 174 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation, and with a recommendation to be placed on the consent calendar. March 23rd, 2023. Mr. President, the Committee on Health and Human Services has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments. It recommends that the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirm members of the Colorado Child Abuse Prevention Trust Fund for terms expiring November 7th, 2025. Catherine Wells of Denver, Colorado, to serve as a subject matter expert with knowledge of child abuse prevention, reappointed. Nadine Montiel de Gagne of Aurora, Colorado, to serve as a subject matter expert with knowledge of child abuse prevention, appointed. Christine Meyer of Denver, Colorado, to serve as a subject matter expert with knowledge of child abuse prevention, appointed. March 23rd, 2023. Mr. President, the Committee on Health and Human Services has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends that the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirm member of the Colorado Prescription Drug Affordability Review Board for a term expiring September 27, 2025. James Vandenberg, Farm DBCPS of Denver, Colorado, reappointed.
Announcements. Senator Marchman.
Thank you, Mr. President. HB 23-1011 Conference Committee will be held in room 107 at 8:30 a.m. on Monday, March 27th.
Further announcements. Senator Bridges. Senator Bridges, I have horrible eyesight.
I know.
So if you're
I
gonna
can't believe you
say
actually saw
something,
me all the way
please
back
be at
there.
the well.
Thank you, colleagues. Just want to remind everyone next week will be budget week. And that means that the budget will be introduced on Monday and will be heard along with many of the orbitals in committee on Tuesday morning. So just want to make sure that you all are aware that the Appropriations Committee will be meeting Tuesday morning for the budget. And we will be hearing those bills to be introduced Monday. So I think that this complies with the notice requirements.
Senator
We'll see you
Kirkmeyer.
on Monday. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President. And just to add to that, we are looking forward to an action-packed, fun-filled week to talk about numbers and the budget.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. And by action-packed, we mean that you just say yes to everything we've done and you don't try and change it because Senator Kirkmeyer is brilliant and you should not undo any of her work.
And you forgot, and delightful.
And delightful, also. I forgot that. It slipped my mind.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, while we were on third reading debate, you may have heard the voices of young people and students and teachers and community members chanting outside for calling on us to do the work to make their schools safe and to end the gun violence that is plaguing too many of our schools across the state. Because we've had a light calendar today on the floor, I encourage you, if you haven't already, to take some time to go and have conversations with those educators, with those students, with those family members, with those parents. Our communities are in deep pain right now, and the fact that gun violence has rocked Denver Public Schools so viscerally twice in a month that the entire DPS is on a mental health day today. But there are other students and teachers and families outside of the DPS school system who also find themselves in pain. And they're here today. I encourage you all to take some time to listen to their stories and to reflect upon, as we approach the budget, what more we can do as a body to address this crisis. Thank you, Mr. President.
Further announcements. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, one quick announcement. Again, if you would like to place an order for any merchandise, your deadline is Monday, March 27th at 4 p.m. Seeing no further announcements, Mr. President, I move that the Senate recess until 11 a.m. today. Colleagues, you do not need to return. We're simply reading bills across the desk.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will recess until 11 a.m. today.